Hey folks, we're going over some magnetic pole shift news and science, both recent updates and a timeline image. This was a big story this week in the morning show, confirmation that ants use Earth's magnetic field. When they reversed the fields in this experiment, the ants couldn't find their nest. This is similar to what we've seen with dozens of other insect species and indicates their vulnerability during a magnetic pole shift. We've of course seen this with various other species too, whether for migration, foraging, growth phases of life, or reproduction. Magnetic navigation is clearly a heavy requirement for life processes of numerous aspects of the food chain, including some of the most basic foundations. I'll go ahead and color those ones yellow. We've gone over many times how the extra radiation and climate chaos driven by the magnetic pole shift is a major problem for plants and animals. Well, the reliance on the field is also a major issue. We've also gone over the changing rotation speed of Earth. The length of day has been dropping bit by bit as the rotation rate speeds up. In 2020, for the first time on record, Earth averaged slightly less than 24 hours a day, the fastest speed ever, with the fastest single day being broken a few dozen times. Earth broke that record again in 2022, and this year in 2024, Earth rotation literally speeding up and the days grow a tiny bit shorter. We've hit this story this week as well. We've investigated the top studies that came before, all suggesting that Earth's magnetic field and solar activity both impact Earth's spin rate. That is confirmed again here. Everything is affected: radiation, weather, navigation, even the turning of the Earth. So I felt the need to make this chart. Across the bottom you can see the years there. We run from 2025 to 2050. Up top in gray we see the four phases of the disaster cycle that we've discussed. We need to be handling what's going on now while preparing for a breakdown of infrastructure and society to come. We need to prepare for the calamity of the actual event and then the aftermath. The darker gray parts show where those periods are most likely to occur. And below that in pink, we see what is most important over time, with prepping being key right now. Gotta get ready for what's coming. As that gets shored up, we need to be extra vigilant, keeping an eye on the social and natural progress. Being fully prepared doesn't help so much if the thing you're preparing for catches you off guard, during which time the basics of survival will be most important. It's the key facet of what we expect life to be like after the pole shift. Below that, we're at the purple line, where precious metals and bartering are considered as opposed to the current fiat currency and even crypto fever. As we progress, technological reliability expectations drop, and the expected need for some kind of a financial backstop grows stronger and stronger. I'm personally going with both barter goods and precious metals, and if I may, anyone who needs to jump on that bandwagon with me should at least check out goldobservers.com. Goldco is actually a company of observers, and they recognize the various reasons to prepare with gold and silver. That's goldobservers.com. Let no piece of the puzzle go unfit. Now below that, we're at the blue line, and this is where we see the overall risk to society, the civilization, to a functioning human world, as opposed to the scattered and disconnected caveman existence we expect in the aftermath. As we go forward, the forecast looks bleak. If we get much into the 2040s without that societal breakdown, I will be very surprised. And of course, as we have the human factor, there's the nature side as well. That's below in green. Here I labeled the most likely natural risks, with bad weather being the most significant one right now, and then geodynamic concerns growing next decade. That's volcanic, rotation speed of the crust, the solar disaster, things like that. As we get towards 2040, I expect the signs to be undeniable from the ground up to the edge of space, and of course, most of you know I expect the zenith of this natural disaster to occur in the 2040s. Below that are some color-coded supplementary lines for when the three elements of disaster are expected. Yellow, human-driven chaos. That's most concerning in the short term. Whether it's World War III, economic collapse, global control, and loss of freedom involving the WEF or WHO. Then the orange line below is the solar kill shot, the solar EMP risk, which I still expect to be realized before the pole shift. That one has a lighter orange break in the middle for when we expect the coming sunspot minimum. Chances of the solar disaster during those few years is substantially reduced. And finally, red at the bottom, we expect the pole shift, micronova, and next stage of Earth to come in the 2040s. The lighter red in the preceding years is the error range. This is simply meant to give you some more abstract ways of looking at the expected timeline while reviewing key studies and going over some things that may have simply slipped your mind. Again, More confirmations about the animal kingdom and Earth's rotation speed only add to the ocean of studies on the radiation and weather chaos we are to expect. The need for prepping over different phases and in different sectors, from food to training to seeds to bullets to books to silver and gold, is paramount. I'll see you in the morning for the Daily Show. Be safe, everyone.